This is Princess Jordan here. Like my mom's Queens of Queens page.
Bringing you joy to your day, and I hope that you here to stay. But if you not, I hope you get to where you going safe. Them bad feelings I will erase. If you let my vibe take its place, how could you tell me you not into this? It's written on your face. I know me and you can relate. This the way I communicate. If nothing else, you gon' love the way I motivate. This piece is for your mind. Nowadays I know that it's hard to find. If you been feeling like you been rushing, just take your time. Stop and smell the roses, cause really nobody knows when God is gon' give his tokens. Just know them doors is closing, but while them doors is open, we gon' put this love in motion. Can you hear the commotion? We do our own promotion, living our life behind the mic, and it's won't end tonight. Before we get back on the road, we finna get this right.
Hey everyone, it's Queen Myesha here from Queens of Queens Radio, and this is Queens of Real Talk.
Hi everybody, I'm Queen Shavaka.
And we have some wonderful guests on the phone today. But the topic for today is, do black women need to be more submissive to have a healthy relationship with a black man? I'll say it one more time. Do black women need to be more submissive to have a healthy relationship with a black man? Who is on the phone with us today?
Greetings and blessings, everyone. This is Dedan Kimathi. It's very nice to be a part of this radio program. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? This is Dr. Syn-Q. It's a pleasure to be here myself. Looking forward to having a very constructive discussion.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Epic. So I want to ask Queen Shavaka her opinion on this. What do you think, as black women, we need to be more submissive to have healthy relationships with our black men?
Honestly, I think it's more, I think men, especially our black men, they have so much on their shoulders throughout a day because of the stigma and the things that they go through that we don't, as black women, don't understand. So I think it's more important, I would say it's more important that we be their peace. Like if they're going through stuff out there in the world on their jobs or whatever it is they're doing through the day, when they come in the door, for us not to lay in on them. Hey, your shoes are in the wrong spot, or hey, you forgot to take the trash out. You know, just be that peace. And they in turn show them respect and be their peace, and in return they give us what we need from them as we give to them. So I think, in a sense, yeah.
We need to be more submissive.
We need to be more, I want to say more submissive, but that term submissive is so broad, not yaza, whatever you want, so not that in that sense, but as far as think before we respond to them, like not just
now
that stereotype going on them.
When we put together this question to kind of define submissive not meaning you're like in a slave mentality, exactly. Meaning you could still be a smart woman, mm-hmm. but you know your place. You know your position. Mm-hmm. You know the position is, if there needs to be something to discuss amongst you and your king, mm-hmm. that the discussion is made, but you trust him enough that the final decision that is being made is good for both of you.
Right.
And if there's a point in time where he can't make decisions, or he is having some type of mental or emotional, not breakdown, but just kind of in an emotional kind of mess, mm-hmm. and he cannot think clear enough, you being that strong woman, then you can step up and make some decisions.
And be patient with him.
And be patient.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you're trying to take his place, it's just you're needed at that time in that position. So I think that we could switch positions when it's needed. But the man needs to be in the front. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean as women we're weak. Right. Because if a man has a strong woman behind him and knows her position, they're a power couple.
Right.
Even in the world's eyes, it looks like she might not have a voice, mm-hmm. or she might not making decisions. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
She might be giving him ideas that he's voicing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the kings we have on the phone, what do you guys think about this?
Are you there?
Dedan Kimathi?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So what do you think about black women needing to be more submissive to have a healthy relationship with a black man?
Well, I definitely agree that a woman definitely has to be submissive, not passive, but, it's more so peaceful is the word. Anytime we leave the home, we can intake a whole lot of stress and disrespect and all that right there. As soon as you come to the home front, all of that should be left outside. We should, both men and women should be pampering and looking out for one another, whether it be in the kitchen preparing meals together, massage therapy, a lot of great stuff that we should, again, we go through a lot of stresses outside, whether it's in the workplace, in traffic, in the grocery store, it's a lot of stress that we intake. So again, anytime we come to the home front, there should be a lot of respect on both parts too. So, but we're speaking about the woman definitely should be, again, not passive, but peacefully respectful, kind, loving. The same thing that is exuded towards the children from the mother, it should be exuded to the man as well. Not to the point where you baby a man, but just to the respect factor. I definitely agree and believe that a woman should be submissive, respectful, peaceful, not passive, not a pushover, but, where we can all merge together as a family unit, and not to mention that the children see a lot of the ways that we interact also. So it's very important to provide a kind, loving, peaceful environment for the children, because one day they will reach adulthood too. And I'm sure the reason why we see a lot of women conducting themselves the way that they do is because stuff that they intake coming from the immediate household. So, it's just something we need to just basically break that chain right there and just start loving one another and know that we have no other friends outside of this. We all that we got. So damn it, we need to start respecting and loving one another.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So now, Dedan Kimathi, what's your definition when you hear the word in submissive in the topic?
When I hear submissive, that means basically just when I make a request. Excuse me, baby, if I can get some water. Her, instead of her saying, what you doing? You get your own damn water. I shouldn't have to hear none of that. Damn, submissive would be like, okay, baby, you thirsty? Okay, and her queen a beverage. And don't just end it with that, okay, baby, that's it. I'm going to go do whatever I got to do. Is there anything else that you need? So that's to me, that's the way of submitting like that right there, without the pushback and going all back and forth, regardless of the way how you may feel. It ain't no room to be no damn lazy and nothing that we do in life. And a relationship and or marriage happen to be one area where all that laziness, you don't have no time for that. So that's my way of, that's my idea of submissive. Someone, we don't have to be with the back and forth, and when something is presented, there's no pushback, it's respect. You being love and you being supportive, all that great stuff.
Yeah. So, Dr. Syn-Q, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
So when you hear, I'm going to ask you the same question that I just asked him. In this topic, when you hear the word submissive, what comes to your mind?
Submissive means basically just following some rules or some guidelines that I would think have been set. Because the male is by nature, he's a builder, and in order for him to build and establish things, he needs that natural nurturing that comes from the female, and having having these certain, I guess, certain kind of rules would be followed to help him keep a peace of mind so that he can continue to build. So I guess that's what submission means to me.
And do you think it's necessary for a woman to somewhat be submissive to her husband or to her black boyfriend if it's in a relationship,
right?
In order to keep or to get or maintain a healthy relationship, do you think that is important for her to do?
Well, yes, but only if that relationship is focused on accomplishing some common objectives for the benefit of them. It's like the relationship is not the end. It's just it's a part of the process that helps you accomplish the goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a good answer. I think in today's society, and what I've observed is a lot of mothers raise their young black women to be very strong, to be very independent, and have this mindset that I don't need a man. Mm-hmm. And that's good if you're a single mother, because you need to be like that if you're a single mother. But just initially meeting someone and having that mindset, it's very hard for the black man to have that position of he is the man in the relationship,
right?
Or he is the head, because this young woman was taught, and maybe even seen it in her parents, where the mother's running the show and the dad has no say so. So now when you're bringing it into this new relationship, it doesn't work, because again, there's roles to be played. And if the woman can't be the woman and she can't be the man, and then switch the man over to her child position, that's not going to work. And then what I've also seen is when that happens, then the woman wants to sit up there and say, well, why aren't you being a man? Well, hell, you're not letting me be a man. You're not listening to anything. You're not respecting me.
Or if she's correcting the man in front of the child, so that sends a message too, like, oh, you don't have to listen to him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think
mixed messages.
As black women, we need to remember that we're still strong. A lot of us are just strong by nature.
Yeah.
We have to be living in this world. But to remember, when you have a good man in front of you, when I'm saying a good man, meaning that he thinks about your future, about your guys' future and your family's future, and he wants to see you do the best and succeed in everything you do. And it's not all about him being selfish.
Yes.
Now, if you run across a man who's selfish and very self-centered, and it's not about the we, it's about he, then absolutely don't be submissive. And the best thing to do is leave that man alone. But if you find that man who will help you get to your potential, and you help him get to his potential, if he wants a glass of water when he gets home from work, you better give it to him.
Which, like,
if he wants you to run his bath water, and he's treating you good, you better run his bath water. Treat him how he needs to be treated. Exactly.
Come on with it.
And that's something that again, I wasn't taught that way, but it's something I had to think about. Like, if you have a good man, why not? And in return, that good man will treat me good.
Right.
It's like a cycle.
Right. Hey, look, if I'm out there working a hard day's work, and I know I'm looking forward to a nice bath when I get home, and food on the table. Come on. I'm gonna come home. I'm enjoy being at home, but I'm just saying that's just the most beautiful thing. It's like I would do whatever I need to do for my woman. If she's being that way for me, I will go above and beyond. I will kill concrete for her if she does that to me. That's right.
And it all goes back to a level of respect. Does the man feel respected? Does the woman feel honored? And if the answer is yes to both questions, then they're going to compliment each other in the little things that will reflect in a big way. Now, if he doesn't feel respected and she doesn't feel honored, I ain't doing nothing for him. What are you doing for me?
Exactly.
And it goes back to, where's your heart at? It's a heart condition. when my man's at home and my man's at work all day and all he did was text and complain and he can make his own dinner when he comes home. And some women, not all, but some have that mindset. Oh, he spent his whole work day, let me have it. I ain't doing nothing for him. He better take out that hungry man out the freezer and hook himself up, and because she, felt she wasn't being honored, and he didn't feel respected because she's sitting there eating her little steak and potatoes and he eating hungry man. So if the woman feels complimented and just the little things, hey, I thought about you today, I stopped by the store and got you a rose just because it's not your birthday, it's not our anniversary, but just because I thought about you while I was at work. And women make beautiful things out of that. Ooh, let me honor him, let me go draw his bath water, let me ask him if he wants bubbles or candles lit, let me make sure he's got lemon in his ice water perfectly sliced. And so it's like a give and take.
But I think that's if it's balanced.
Yeah.
Because I've seen women that do those things. They make sure that the man has food on the table, the kids are clean and in bed when it's time, and they give and they give and they give and they give, and the man is really not giving anything back.
Right.
So at the end of the day, the woman feels depleted, she feels unappreciated,
and exhausted.
And she's exhausted, and she's not getting anything back. So in this, what we're talking about, it has to be a balance.
A balance, definitely a balance. And how do you find that balance?
I think through communication. And I think it's also just having a connection. I mean, you could get two good people that are willing to do that, but if they just don't have that connection, it's not going to work.
Right.
So it's connection and then keeping the balance and keeping the communication open. And if a woman is so exhausted, because maybe she works too, and hey, I'm exhausted, I can't cook today, because I might have stumped my big toe, I'm tired, or whatever it might be, the man needs to understand, okay, this is a day where maybe I need to step up, or either just let her, don't hound her, just let her rest.
Or give her a back massage. Before dinner, let me give you a back massage and help you relax a little bit before you can get in that kitchen and start cooking.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It is. It's definitely a lot of compromise, give and take. And not, I've said this before, not putting your business on social media and getting 1,000 people's feedback and then coming home and he's like, hey, I read this, why don't you tell me about this kind of thing. And just really settle whatever. If you guys are not coming into agreement, settle it privately. Absolutely. I say that all the time. It's so important. It makes him feel dishonored if you're on Facebook or Instagram talking about what he's not doing instead of just having this conversation like we're having, just this is what I feel.
I think that what I've heard from men over the years, that if you do have a good man who is complimenting you well, I think what a man, and you guys can help me out with this if I'm correct, a man in his home wants to feel like he's his family's hero, and he's respected.
Right.
I
hear a lot about that. I've asked, I've did surveys where I've asked men, what is it that you expect most when you're talking to a queen? And they're like, respect. I want to feel respected. That's one of the biggest feedbacks that I've gotten is respect, communication and respect. And I think communication and respect actually link hand in hand. Like you can't have one without the other. You have to, in order to communicate, you have to actually sit back and listen to what they're saying and their views and respect it and not respond just to have an answer, but just to actually take back what it is they're saying and, make the necessary changes. And if they do the same, then it's going to be a nice balance and you wouldn't really have too many issues.
Absolutely. So I want to hear from the men on the comment that I said about wanting to be their family's hero in their family's eyes and wanting to be respected. Is that hard have you guys noticed that that's hard for us black women to do? And you run across a few black women, if any, that can have really mastered that.
In this system that we're living in right now, as far as mastering anything, we have to first master our mind first. The reason why we have yet to collectively come together as family and as community, we still have a lot of stuff that's clouding our mind. we are in the skin that we are in, and that's a melanated skin. But in our brains, it's a European mind state, though, so it's going to be a lot of getting push and pull, and it's going to be a lot of confusion as a result to us with these European standards and just doing everything that the Europeans do. We need to get back to what's rightfully our culture and go according to that blueprint instead of then ball that other blueprint up and throw that shit straight in the garbage. But with me, I'm trying to, stick to the code these days. And so I remember there was a time when I did want to be seen as a hero or a role model, in the family, and I wanted because I've been married twice, and so I wanted the females in my relationship to promote that with my children, and it was very disappointing because I didn't get that. It was more of the opposite. And the other issue was I did feel oftentimes like I was being disrespected. But after getting involved in the United Independent Compensatory Code, I discovered that for me, I can never be disrespected by anyone except me. I give myself self-respect, and respect is the only thing that I'm the only person that can give me respect. And once I've taken that perspective, trying to get respect from anybody else is not an objective. It doesn't matter to me. And then, as far as being a hero, currently, because we're in a system of racism, white supremacy, which to me is a current race war. Our people are currently under attack in all 9 major areas of people activity. That's economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war. We are under attack at all times and in all places. And if we wake up, we'll see that. But because that war is still going on and it's not over yet, I'm not a hero. I don't want to be seen as a hero until the war is over and we've won it.
I like that perspective.
Yeah.
That's a different spin on it. Absolutely. So you guys, we are getting close to having to end this discussion. Do you guys have any final words you guys want to say? All right. So again,
go ahead. Your final words.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask. I was just asking Brother Dedan if he had something final, because he was quiet. But no, I don't have anything else to say.
Okay.
I was definitely agreeing to all that was said. That what you presented was all facts, brother. So great job to everyone. I appreciate all of the panel. And looking forward to the next discussion, most definitely. I appreciate, like always, the invite.
Absolutely.
We're glad to have you.
So,
and peace and love to all the listeners, as well.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, thanks to me, peace and love to all the listeners, and thanks for having me on the show again. I love it.
So the topic was, do Black women need to be more submissive to have a healthy relationship with Black men? I think that we hit some really good points.
Definitely.
And whoever's listening, if you guys have some comments on this, please leave them. And this was Queens of Queens Radio, Queens of Real Talk. I'm Queen Myesha.
And I'm Queen Shavaka.
And we had Dr. Syn-Q on the line and Dedan Kimathi. And thank you guys for joining this discussion with us. And we will see you guys again. Bye-bye.
bringing you joy to your day, and I hope that you here to stay. But if you not, I hope you get to where you going safe. Them bad feelings I will erase. If you let my vibe take its place, how could you tell me you not into this? It's written on your face. I know me and you can relate. This the way I communicate. If nothing else, you gon' love the way I motivate. This piece is for your mind. Nowadays I know that it's hard to find. If you been feeling like you been rushing, just take your time. Stop and smell the roses, cause really nobody knows when God is gon' give his tokens. Just know them doors is closing, but while them doors is open, we gon' put this love in motion. Can you hear the commotion? We do our own promotion, living our life behind the mic, and it's won't end tonight. Before we get back on the road, we finna get this right. Everything will be okay if you want it to be. You only experience what you wanna see. Don't get taken over by your emotions. You gotta be the one who's gonna control them. Don't get taken over by your emotions. You gotta be the one who's gonna control them. Don't get taken over by your emotions. You gotta be the one who's gonna control them. Don't get taken over by your emotions. You gotta be the one who's gonna control them. You gotta be the one who's gonna make it happen. You gotta be the one who